Welcome to Unexpected Podcast. I'm DJ Reese Boogie.
And I'm KP, the girl of perspective, or the voice of perspective.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know this season 2, episode 2. You know, we having fun with it. You know, we had a good week, good weekend. You know, KP, how your week went? It was good. How your health, your mindset, how everything going?
Look, it's been amazing. This week has been real cool. Yesterday we did like a little. Me and Justin and another couple did like a the girls take the men out or whatever.
That's crazy because I ain't getting no phone call. I'm in a couple now. Sheesh.
Look,
that's cool, man. You know,
your baby gotta hit me up. We can do stuff.
Maybe the next time.
Yeah, but it was real cool. Like we try to expand like their worldview stuff, like doing different stuff that they've never done before.
So yeah,
we went to the immersive game experience or whatever. Have you heard of it?
No, tell me a little bit about that.
So basically,
I don't do too many date nights.
It's this place that has a whole bunch of rooms where you're a part of the game. So yesterday we did Squid Games.
So it's not like an escape room? It's something else? Oh.
It's literally like you're the players in a video game and you gotta like so you got
virtual stuff on your eyes?
Well, you got a hat on that keeps up with your motions and stuff like that.
That sounds fun.
Have you watched Squid Games?
No. Oh, yeah. The one that was killing people. Yeah.
So we played that game. It was fun though. Like y'all should do it.
Nah, that's dope.
And you get a workout in.
That sounds real good.
But yeah, it was pretty dope.
So did the men enjoy it?
They did. They was like, at first they was like, I don't know, because you know how y'all do. Y'all creatures of habit. Like if y'all don't, I'm simple, right?
Yeah, take a nigga out his element.
Right.
Like get a little uncomfortable.
They was like, oh shoot, that was fun. And they served like beer and stuff, so.
Where's located?
Downtown.
That sounds fun though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You should try it.
Yeah, because we've been trying to look into doing new stuff, so that's definitely one. We went and did Axe Throwing not too long ago. That was my first time, and that was fun.
How was that? Because is it comparable to darts?
Nah, it's harder. Because dart, it's always going to hit the board in dart. You might not hit your mark, but the dart always go in some way.
The axe.
The axe,
it got to stay straight so it can like land.
It hit the floor more than it hit the board, I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's very difficult.
I thought about that.
Yeah, it's fun, like once because you competing. Like we had a good time competing, like, and I don't take it easy. I don't care if she a woman or who I'm with, kids, whatever. I always want to win. Yeah. So I'm very competitive, so you always got to get a certain score to win in every time. So that was fun. So it made us compete even though it wasn't hitting the board every time.
That's good.
So yeah, but it's Houston. We got the rodeo out here right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, everybody that became cowboys, cowgirls during this season.
You know how we do.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of rodeo parties and this and that. I seen you went to the cookout.
I sure did. Look, I went on Thursday and I went on Saturday.
Oh, you went 2 days?
Yes. Thursday we had access to a tent. So we went there knowing we were going to have access. That food was so good. We went to Boots and Blues tent.
Right.
It was so dope. It was a whole bunch of like black-owned businesses.
Oh, that's dope.
That one. I think that was the only tent that I saw that was actually black-owned. So I was happy to be a part of that. But Saturday, we just kind of went on a whim. And because my husband is almost 7 foot.
Right.
White people love him. So they was like,
they still try to get him in the league.
No,
they think he in the league or something, huh?
No, it was some drunk women.
Right. Oh, it was the women. Yeah.
Who was like, ooh.
They wanted to ride that cowboy. They were trying to ride that cowboy.
Go ahead, get us in the tent so we can get unlimited liquor and unlimited food. Like,
so the tents is really like that though? Cause I guess I'm not into I don't have friends that invite me places. So I haven't been invited to get inside of a tent or get tickets for free to get inside of a tent. But I heard it's unlimited access to alcohol and food.
Yes. So they have 300 tents, but they're more so sponsored or bought by corporations. And so typically, you get the access from business associates.
Right.
The first access that we had, it was because of a lady that we've done like volunteering with and stuff like that. Saturday, I think by that time, since it was the last day, everybody was just drunk. And because we went home with literally like trays of ribs and stuff.
Oh, y'all took food home. Oh, y'all was like that.
They were like, y'all eat ribs here. We was like, oh, shoot.
Would they be racist? Because y'all black?
Now, okay, so I feel like it was a little bit of racism, but at the same time, it benefited us that day because I felt like they was just trying to have black friends.
Right.
Because when we went to the tents, they were like, we have the best DJ. And as soon as we walked in, they start playing like
hood music. Well,
not
black
even
music,
hood
just
music,
black
but
artists.
like Nelly and stuff.
Yeah, like black artists. Yeah.
So we was like, oh my God. But okay, you know. Yeah. But they had good liquor. Like
I'm gonna tell you something about black people though.
Anejo, Don Julio.
Black people, if it's coming at a free expense and you're gonna have a good time, when somebody being racist, sometimes you just ignore the shit. If I go in there and get free food, free liquor, have a good time, you playing black music because I walked in, you give me ribs, you know what? It was a good night.
For me, I felt like they were just trying so hard not to be racist.
Right.
So I was just like, okay, I could take this as they are intentionally trying.
And sometimes they overdo it.
But I don't know.
White folks, let me tell y'all something. Sometimes y'all overdo it when y'all trying not to be racist. It comes off as racist.
Yeah.
You know, just be normal, be yourself. Just treat us
cool. We
kind,
love white people that's themselves. Like, we don't, you know.
You ain't got to be extra. I've definitely been in situations where I feel like they wasn't trying to get sued or they wasn't trying to, like, be racist so a statement can go out, even at restaurants sometimes. Yeah. Like, why you being so extra with me?
You ain't got to relate to me on why you feel like some police need to go to jail because of whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that should not be the first thing you say to me. Like, what do you think about this situation? Like,
it just comes off as too much. It's overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah.
Because then we become uncomfortable, even though you're trying to make us comfortable. But anyway,
do you remember?
Go ahead.
Okay, so just last thing, like the one thing that made me feel uncomfortable being from Texas is the tent that won everything, because we got access to 5 tents that day. I don't know how, don't ask me, but one of the tents was the #1 overall cook-off champion. So they food was bomb, but they was from Jasper, Texas. You remember that case? I think it was, what's his name? I forgot his name, but he ended up getting drugged by a truck.
No, I know.
Basically, they lynched a black man. I remember going
like
98.
Okay, you talk about that situation with a black man. He was.
But that's the only thing I've ever heard about Jasper, Texas.
Right,
so I was like, like we ain't going up in there. But the ladies literally came out like, oh, y'all are a beautiful couple. Like, y'all should come in, have drinks. We won the whole thing. Eat our food up. I was like, all right, babe, like.
So basically what you're telling me is next year don't even think too much about it. Because you know I'll be like, man, I ain't going if I ain't got no tickets. Basically you're saying just go on, just go and enjoy yourself. And you don't never know where you're going to end up.
Regardless, especially on the last day, they going to be giving out stuff.
Yeah, you just never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah.
So that's good advice. And that's to everybody that want to go to the rodeo out here. Because I know a lot of people talk about the tent. They want to get inside the tent for free food, free liquor, because they don't want to spend their money on the outside food. But she just told you. Yeah. Just go.
Just go.
Because white people love us. And they going to, some of them. But they going to be extra friendly sometimes.
Go to the tents in the back. Because the ones in the front uppity.
What you think about the rodeo giving like a black night?
Black Heritage Night? Black Heritage Night. And it initially it started with good intent. You know, they actually fueled it to bring quality artists. Not saying anything against Bun, because I think he did his thing the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's why I say they had him 2 years in a row.
But I feel like they're not putting as much money or effort into it anymore. Right. And I feel like that's kind of disheartening and what's kind of turning people off. So.
Yeah, because I like Bun B. I've always heard his shows be good, they be great. Mm-hmm. But I think, you know, if you're doing a Black Heritage Night, you need to be more open instead of just making it a hip hop night. You know, just R&B. You could bring different artists in. They got the Zydeco, they got Louisiana music. They got all type of music that could come out.
So I love the fact that Bun B did a Southern takeover this time because he incorporated more artists. He even pulled out Erykah Badu at the last minute. We was like, what? Erykah here? You know, so it was really good because I feel like Bun B knows how we feeling. And so that's why he tried to do something big. But at the same time, I feel like before Bun B, I think they invited like somebody like Jason Derulo as the, black heritage, and we're not even his population.
Right, I don't even listen to him.
And I went just because the tickets was free. I didn't know none of his songs, like nothing. But as soon as I got there, I'm sitting there and all of the people on the front row are like teenage white girls. Right. And I'm just like, okay, like this day music. And then he intentionally comes off stage to grab somebody to come on stage. And they were like two. So
who would you like
girls.
To see? Like who?
We was like, this Black Heritage Night, this dude went straight for the white girl.
So next year, Rodeo, if you had a pick of Black Heritage Night, who would you want to be down here?
Well, if Usher didn't have his residency going on.
Right.
Definitely Usher. Definitely Bruno Mars and the...
Bruno not black, though.
He's half black.
Right.
He's half black,
Black
half
heritage,
Hawaiian.
we don't want no half, nothing. We want black.
No, Bruno makes soul music.
He do. It'd be good music, but we want black on Black Night. So give me another one. Bruno, you ain't coming. Go here, another one.
How you gonna discriminate against Bruno?
He got good hair. He got good hair.
That's okay.
He look like he from the island.
Oh my God. Because he's half Hawaiian.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So we don't want
Hawaiian,
no half.
Look, Hawaiian, Samoan, Pacific people, they black.
What's that?
They got soul.
Nah, I don't want to go that far. I'm about to talk about somebody real black, but I want somebody black though.
Who
for
you
Black
want?
Heritage Night. Me?
Yeah.
I want Jay-Z. Bring me home, man.
No.
Let me think. I ain't never really thought about it. Black Heritage Night Rodeo. I can't think of a name. It's a woman singer though.
It needs to be a singer.
Yeah, they need some soul singing in there.
I don't want to go to rowdy.
Beyonce cool too.
Rodeo.
Have Beyonce did it? Didn't Beyonce do it one year?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a while back. But that before they had Black Heritage Night. So she just did it to do it.
Yeah.
But let's go into leaving, even so we talk about Black Heritage and all that, like Black History Month.
Yeah.
Draymond made a statement about Black history saying that he think that Black History Month should be taken out to be celebrated all year because they trying to take Black history out of schools. They trying to, dumb it down to just 1 month to where they not educating people year round. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that? Because I got mine, but I'm going to see what your thoughts on Black History Month and how far it should go.
I feel like I think you have to have an in-depth or open mind about possibilities, right? Like, I think a lot of people get caught up in thinking that it has to be one or the other, and it doesn't. Like, we can have Black History Month and work on them expanding the curriculum to include Black History 365.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be either or. I feel like people who kind of challenge Black History Month, Black Heritage Day, like all of these things, you're not even realizing like it took people to fight for those things. Like people fought to have those things, which means there was a lack thereof. And so since in the community now in schools, they're taking all of that off the table, why not continue to have Black Heritage Month or Black History Month, but just add that you need to be working on other things?
Other things year round. That's kind of my take on it. I definitely don't think that Black History Month should be taken out.
Right.
Draymond, I get your point that it should be year round. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to go back into like the voting, who we put in office, right?
Yeah.
I think it should definitely be still in schools. I think that even at private schools, white schools, whatever the case may be, I think it should just be taught year round. Yeah. To where people can kind of educate themselves on the creators of everything shit we deal with in this world was almost created by a black man. So I think that should be, it shouldn't just be celebrated 1 month, but I think it's definitely needed for that 1 month because it opens up a lot of opportunities and educate a lot of people that don't know about it. Because you got to understand, Draymond, everybody's not black and everybody not into Black history.
Right. So
when we get a chance to throw it in people's face and highlight it and say, listen, this is what he did. This is what she did. This came from here. To the white people, like, oh, wow. Especially I'm talking about teenagers, you know what I'm saying? I think the older people know about it, but they just dismiss it sometimes. But just the teenager kids, man, just so they can get a little education on Black history. And I think that the black teenagers that is so much access to the internet and the world that they not even really educating themselves on it no more.
But I think as parents, and we talked about a little bit of responsibility, like the responsibility that we have in our generation, I think that we, like our people, not necessarily just us, but those within our age range, like I feel like are losing so much, like they're disregarding so much of the responsibility that we have to teach our kids. Because at this moment, the people that are around our age, their kids are the ones that's influencing things. Like they're in high school. So if you're not teaching Black history in your home, that's when it becomes distinct. Like,
and I just think as parents, I don't think you have to have a pen and a notepad to educate your kids on certain things. But I think when a certain song come on or something comes on TV, that's an opportunity to educate.
Absolutely.
It's just everything is always an opportunity to educate. You don't have to be the stand on, black man, like Black Power. We ain't trying to get no Black Panthers out here. We ain't trying to go into that history of you being that serious.
But there is a need for that now. Like it is, because I feel like the people that came before our parents' generation, they moved us so far along.
Right.
To where now when it gets to, it's picking back up slowly, but I feel like now that time in between, I feel like they've just kind of settled with where we've been able to get because of their parents.
Right.
And so now it just seems like we're kind of like at this plateau of discrimination and police brutality and racism and all of that stuff. And now it's just coming more to the forefront because of social media.
Right. And the pandemic helped us out with a lot of that too. Been able to
and
put
when
it out
President Obama got in office.
Obama was the truth. I still mess with Obama just because he was smooth. I don't even know what Obama did, but he was smooth as
when he became the president, all the racists came out.
Right.
They was like, I'm tired of this.
But that's one thing about Trump though. When Trump became the president after him,
they got ignited again.
Right, it got ignited again. All the KKK came back out and they was ready for whatever. They didn't give a damn what they said, how they acted, how they treated people, because Donald Trump was at the head of that milestone. I just had a thought in my head before I started talking about the presidents. You made me forget.
I did.
Yeah, that's really messed up.
Was it about something I said? Police brutality?
No, because we're gonna talk about that. But it was more racism and all that. But anyway, I forgot, and it was really good. And before the show over, if I think about it, I'm gonna talk about it.
I know you are.
Yeah, but let's talk about going into. I'm gonna drop down to police brutality. Since we on the racism and all that type of stuff. Y'all know in Memphis, Tennessee, the kid Trye Nichols that got beat up by the
young man.
Was it 4 or 5 police? They beat him to death and tried to cover it up, and it came out. We had the George Floyd situation. We had back in the Gap the Rodney King situation. Mm-hmm. But just me seeing all the situation, even though the Rodney King situation was bad, but he didn't pass away.
Right.
During that time. Me watching this one, it was different for me. I watched the whole video. Like I watched every angle, everything. I had to because but I'm gonna go to what I think about the situation and police brutality and what I think need to change. Well, I can go into it since I'm here. I just think that us as a black community, we pick our poison. I think if it was 5 white men out there beating on them, it would have been an uproar in the black community. Everybody would have been marching, protesting all over the world. But since it was 5 black guys that beat on a black guy, I don't feel like the world, the black community took it as serious, and it kind of bothered me. Go ahead, KP. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to cut you off. I was going to say I disagree, but go ahead.
All right. She disagrees, but I'm just saying
the reason why.
For what I seen and from what I, because I had known about the situation before it even hit the internet because I'm online all day, every day. So I kind of known about it and nobody was talking about it. Nobody had a issue with it as far as the media per se until, I guess one CNN put it out there. That's when everybody started put their hands up. But you can go into yours. I'm gonna tell you what I think need to change in that situation.
Yeah, we can have a discussion about.
But go ahead, tell me what you disagree with.
What I disagree is the reason for the uproar or the lack of uproar, because I feel like people didn't respond as crazy or as intense because they immediately took action. Like, they immediately fired all 5 of them. The
police chief. Yeah, she did a great job.
Literally, all of them.
She did a great job.
So a lot of times when things like this happen, it's because nobody is
holding them responsible. They're not holding them responsible for their actions.
Because that's our outcry. Like, you killed another black man and you didn't fire them. You didn't even suspend them. You didn't even send them home. Right. You didn't do an investigation. You didn't do nothing.
Right. I agree with that.
But now, because they were all fired, it's like, well, as they should.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And so even though racism, and the crazy thing is, reversely, they were all fired because they were black. Right. You know what I mean? So, so it's still a race issue, regardless of how you look at it.
Because if they would fire white police, they still would have felt like they would have been fired as fast.
All of them.
But I don't know, because the police chief in Memphis, I can't think of her name right now, but she's a black police chief, and
she's a black woman.
I think she
Do you think she would have took that risk if they were all white?
Yeah, because as a police chief, I think
she would have been hesitant.
I think it would have been more investigation before, but I definitely think it would have happened. But I think, the police chief is all about, it's like the presidency. You got a time frame while you're in there. So it's up to re-election before they put somebody else in as police chief. So I think being what's going on in the world, like you talk about with the George Floyd and social media and everything that's happening, she probably felt a lot of that, but she never had it happen in her department. So this was the first time to where it was put on display, because they've been treating people bad because more people have came out and said the Scorpio unit, they treated us, they didn't beat us, they didn't did all this and that. So she got access to knowing all that. Yeah. But being that she was at the forefront to where they had access to the camera.
She did the right thing.
She did the right thing.
She did the absolute
So I don't want to knock it out and say what she wouldn't have did or didn't do.
I would never take that from her. She did what she needed to do. They deserved it. They deserve jail time. They deserve everything. I'm just saying on the other side of things, I think things would have been a little different. Like, it would have been approached.
I agree with you on that.
But while we're talking about it, it's just more so like acknowledging that race is always going to be a part of the police structure. Right. Because that's the reason why they were. It's unfortunate, but that's the reason why police were even founded. Like, that's the reason why they were created. Right. Was to hold black people accountable. Like, they didn't care about no other race.
Right. They wanted
policing was made to
house niggas,
to make consequences for black people.
Right. Even the laws, just not policing, just the laws that was made was always to put us.
The laws were too, but I'm saying the very reason or meaning behind constructing a police department in the 30s was to create, like, hold black people, consequences to black people. Like, that's the reason why they created police.
Right. And that,
so you can't think it just happened in 1930.
So when you see black men,
it hasn't been 100 years
right
yet.
So when you see black men that's out there treating another black man like that, like, especially with, like we say, we got access to police brutality every day, all day.
Every day.
What's going on in the world. So to see black men out there doing it, it was disheartening. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because it's ingrained in the occupation.
And they was educated black men. When they start putting their history up, they went to college, they was Omegas, they was this and that. They supposed to be for brotherly love, brotherly empowerment. So to do all that,
But they said it was supposed to be a personal.
Do you think the story is true about being personal with the police girlfriend? And they,
It probably was personal, but I feel like whoever the officer was, The other people probably didn't understand his
reason at the time.
But because there was so much like energy put in towards like him, I feel like they had to be a team player.
Right. But I disagree. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I work juvenile probation a lot, and we have disgruntled employees that just want to come in sometimes and just fuck over a kid, you know, because they having a bad day at home. So when they teach us to view the situation when you walk in on it, right? See what's going on.
Assess it.
Assess the situation. That's what I'm looking for. I'm talking about access. But assess the situation. So even if I'm a police, I'm a juvenile detention officer, I'm just a dude in the club with my homeboy, and they in there jumping somebody. I'm not
jumping in, but you know that there are people like that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. You got to have enough to say,
you should.
Hey, grab him. Like, he's already down. Y'all got his arms. You got to protect your brother as well, because as police, y'all brothers, that's community. Juvenile detention with my people. So if I walk in, I know he just mad at it. I grab and say, I got it. Let me handle it.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to.
You should be able to do that, but you know, a lot of people are not wired the same way.
And that's crazy because they get training for that though. You in a situation to where you got to learn how to deal with conflict. Like, you are police, you got to learn how to deal with conflict at all times. Yeah. So I don't give a damn if it's a suspect or it's your brother with a badge. Exactly. You have to learn how to say, you know what, this ain't right. Now you going down for a murder situation because you didn't step in and say, this is wrong. Yep.
And this is the thing though. There are characteristics of certain police officers, not all of them, not most of them, but some police officers become police officers just for that power.
Because they were loonies in high school. They were lames.
Or they got picked on, or whatever the case may be. You are becoming a police officer so nobody can tell you nothing.
Yeah, like, you the big dog.
You know, so it's just those type of people with that mentality. I done ran into a lot
of them too, being outside a lot. You run into a lot of people, they might see you having fun, you doing your thing, and they just want to just dim your light that night for no reason. You know, just corny. You know what I'm saying?
You wasn't unsafe to nobody. You wasn't, but it's just because they want to say something. Right. And they dare you to say something back.
Because that's their access.
Even if you just asking them for clarification, it's like, oh, you not listening? You define a police officer?
Me and my brother deal with that situation in Grooves one night, a club Grooves. I'm sitting there talking to a chick. I don't know if the officer was liking her or something like that, but he just came up. He was hella aggressive with me. He this and that. So my brother ain't know what was going on because me and him started going back and forth about me talking to the young lady. I wasn't doing nothing wrong, but sitting there talking to the young lady. He just came up aggressively, like trying to put me out and all kind of crazy shit. So my brother just walked up like, hey, just natural reaction. Like, hey, what's going on? He took my brother to jail, say he assaulted the police because he put his hand on his uniform. And my brother wasn't aggressive. He wasn't even
power trip.
It was just a power trip because it was a woman in the club that was doing that. But what I do think need to change is psychological tests. Yep. I know when you first go in, everybody got to get evaluated. To make sure their mental is right. They got to answer certain questions. They got to take a test. Whatever the case may be. I think it needs to happen every 2 to 3 years. Every officer should go back in, because when you go into a job like an officer or whatever, medical, even a ambulance position, right? You never seen, you practice this stuff in training, dead bodies, or somebody being shot, somebody being assaulted when you walk in, you know what I'm saying? Just all kind of stuff. But when you see that shit for 2 to 3 years, you become numb to it. Yeah. You become numb to that type of stuff. So your psychology might change when you got in. So that's why I just think need to change. I think they need to evaluate officers every few years to see where they at. Absolutely.
I feel like there should be a certification process.
Yeah,
in order to
you need to get recertified.
Yeah. Like, I know they go through the police academy and all this other stuff, but like you said, every couple of years, if they have it to where
that's PTSD, man.
If they have it to where mental health counselors, professors, cheerleaders, not cheerleaders, teachers, if they have to recertify,
right? They should. Why wouldn't
police have to recertify? They literally hold people's lives in their hands.
Like, I agree.
Even doctors have to do professional development. You know what I mean? So it's like, what kind of curriculum can y'all put together that has them recertified, that requires a psychological test, that requires another PT test, that requires another, because if you shooting somebody because you can't chase after them.
Cause your old ass ate them donuts so long you can't get out there. You don't exercise no more. You out there fucking with a 22-year-old, you 42 years old now.
Thank you.
And he outrunning you want to just pull your gun out and shoot him.
Right.
It's crazy to me. Like it's still crazy to me when officers say, "Oh, he had a knife," and they shoot him to death.
And you brought a gun.
You
to
got
a
a taser.
Fight?
You have a taser.
It's safe.
Hit him with the taser, you know, and knock him down. You ain't got to kill a man.
Take your couple steps back and shoot the taser.
He might be not in the mental space with that type of stuff. So I just wish that they can do better. That's it. It's unfortunate. A lot of these situations that happen. I ain't saying you niggas ain't crazy. Some of y'all be tripping with the police.
They have a dangerous job, but at the same time, you have a responsibility to protect the people of your community too. I'm speaking from a sense where a lot of my family members are police officers.
Right.
My stepdad,
I got a lot of friends too.
Me was a member of a police department for 30 years. My brother is a police officer. Like, I have a lot of people in my family that's police or military. And I feel as though if y'all, like, they need to do a power check, like a pride check type situation, a simulation, something, like seeing how people, you know, how they only have to have 2 years of education.
Right.
And then they go through the police.
But I ain't gonna lie, even with the Houston police right now, you ain't gotta have 2 years of police.
And then even then, they're always hiring because nobody wants to be a police officer.
Right.
So now they're constantly reducing the qualifications. What you think we're gonna have?
I just seen the Houston police where they just advocating, they give a $5,000 bonus once you graduate or all that type of stuff.
They trying to get anybody up in there just to have bodies and not adequately train them.
I think with black men and black officers and white officers, all race officers, I think they need to do a nigga check on a lie detector. If you fail a lie detector test on black questions about black people, then you shouldn't be a police, because there's a lot of undercover I hate you niggas, you know what I'm saying, that's in that wear uniform. And you know, they try to hide it for so many years, but unfortunately it comes out in certain situations. So, you know, but let's go into Michael B. Jordan situation. He was called corny, you know, back in high school by a chick, and she didn't, you know, paved her way in the career to where she was able to interview him. A reporter. She was able to report and, you know, interview him on the red carpet. But he never forgot. He seen on the red carpet like and
Mike Jones.
Right. He did back then you did more, but nah, you all on me. So she interviewed him and he kind of gave her the cold shoulder. And I think as he should. Yeah. But Joe Budden came out and he said that's the reason why they thought you was corny back then, because you handled a black woman in that manner when if it was a white reporter, you wouldn't have did the same thing. But I think that's a little skeptical too, because a white reporter didn't call him corny in high school. Right. So you don't know how he would have had a situation.
Like, because they don't even say that type of stuff.
Right. And you don't know if a white reporter said something bad about him before and he treated him bad. He held him accountable for how you treated him.
I don't think he treated her bad. You sent me the clip before.
I sent you the clip.
But I don't even think he handled her rough.
I think it was accident to me.
I think he just held her accountable for the words that she put out into the world that provided information on his character, and he has a right to address it and say, no, remember you called me corny.
I'm gonna tell you what I think it was too. It wasn't just high school. If you probably didn't know about this, but she have done multiple reports throughout the years and brought this situation up to where she defended herself though. It wasn't I guess, you know, that's how she.
Yeah, she was like, no, I just said that we made fun of your name.
Right,
and he was like, no, I saw it.
Right, but I think people get clout because that's the biggest name that she know, and she trying to come up as a reporter, so she got to bring that story up to be like, I knew Michael B. Jordan in high school. Yeah. So and he used to bring headshots to school. Cause I think they grew up in New York and all that type of stuff. Hey. She was like, but you know, dudes weren't doing that in the hood, so that's why we thought he was it was corny.
Exactly.
You know,
which now you know is not. Which is...
But I'm going to tell you what I think, what I'm proud of with Michael B. Jordan. I'm going to get on Michael B. Jordan's side on this one. Because in high school, I had the same... I felt the same way. You know, I wanted to be a model. I wanted to get into fashion. I used to write down clothes and all that type of stuff. I went into headshots. You know, I wanted to be a model in high school because I used to watch the Vibe magazines, the black culture magazines. I wanted to be the hood dude with the tattoos and the magazines taking pictures.
Yeah.
But in my neighborhood, Fifth Ward, Texas, all blacks, no Mexicans. You know, where I grew up, it wasn't preyed on. Like people didn't praise you for wanting to be a model. You know what I'm saying? They wanted you to be the hood bad kid.
Yeah.
You know, if I would have came in with my headshots and all that type of stuff trying to be a model, I would have been labeled, everybody know it's gay. You know, all different, weird. Like, why he doing that type of stuff? So I shied away from it. Yeah. So Michael B. Jordan, I want you to know, from me to you, my brother, and you don't know me, but from me to you, my brother, I praise you for standing on all 10 toes, because today you're a multimillionaire for doing what you love and what you knew you was going to be great at. Yeah. And I shied away from it. So I want to say I appreciate that, my brother. So that's a good lesson learned for whoever coming up next after us. Don't worry about me, sweetheart. You know, just do you, and I promise you'll be great.
That's big, Reese, because a lot of dudes, you know, there's growth there. Of course, it's probably 20-some years in between, but
yeah, dude, definitely 20-some years in between.
But it's like, even when we discussed Russell Wilson a while back, right? Like, people calling him lame or corny for
how he treated his wife,
how lovable he is, and I feel like so many people are set in that perspective of something that's different, that they don't really too much fool with, that they don't know how to do, or they don't feel comfortable doing. I feel like they just automatically label it as weird or corny. And in this case, that's what happened. You called him corny because he knew what he wanted to do. He knew what he wanted to do,
man. And that was big to me, to read that story. And no disrespect to the young woman who did it, because like I said, they was young. Growth in all they was young, and she even fell back and said, you know, I didn't think back then it was bullying or something like that. You know, they try to label me as a bully. But shit, you know, everybody made fun of each other in high school. That just was our joke towards him. He was the kid, came in with the headshots and dressed different and all that type of stuff. So, you know, I didn't listen. I had some names for people in high school. So,
but I mean, I feel like part of your growth should be owning up to your shit.
Right. And she owned up to it.
All she would have. Did she?
She owned up to it. I want to say, I seen other interviews where she talked about it. She was on the Breakfast Club where she talked about it. She did another interview on Angelique, whatever. She just apologized for saying, I didn't think that it was bullying back then. Basically,
but she had an opportunity to apologize
on the red carpet
to his face.
I just think it's the way he looked at her. You seen her look. That nigga gave her a look.
I saw the look. But it was more so kind of like he was trying to sneak it in, like, okay,
he didn't even say it loud.
Right, like he was just like, I want to hold you accountable real quick, but I want to go ahead and answer your question.
Right. But she went on and talked about it because that's the guilt.
Defend herself.
That's the guilt.
That's the problem. Yeah. All she had to do was like, you know what, you right, my bad, and look at you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
like,
right.
You
in public. I mean, she had the opportunity to
address it head on,
but she have addressed it outside of him. But the right time to do it was
right in front of him.
Right there. Right.
Because if she would have did that, he probably would have been like, and he probably would have thought about her like, dang, well, maybe now we could have like some kind of sit down interview, you know, so that we can get back on the same accord. But it was like, he just wanted to hold her account. He was like, yeah, when you called me corny, and he kind of chuckled it off.
Right.
But she was like, no, I didn't call you corny. I was just making fun of your name. He was like, no, I saw it. Like, don't
because she didn't brought it up.
Right.
That's why I say before that interview, she brought it up several times in different interviews. I think that's when she was trying to get to the status she had now. So like I say, man, both of them are doing great.
Yeah.
You know, I praise Michael B. Jordan because shit, I was that kid and I didn't follow what I felt in my heart. I used to go in my room 16, 15 years old, and I used to draw up sketches of clothes. And I used to tell my mama, I didn't start my shit in my late 30s, you know what I'm saying? But if I would have followed my dreams in my teens to college, I wouldn't have went to TSU. I would have went to art institution or fashion, something like that. Yeah. But I was still trying to have that label on me as Phil Reese, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, let me remove myself from this situation and follow what I really want to do so I can get to where I want to go.
And think about so many people who probably have had the same thing. Like their dreams have been deferred because of what they thought.
Growing up in the hood, man, basketball or rap. You don't really see too much outside of that. You know, sports or rap. I ain't gonna say football, basketball, whatever sport you play. Is that rap or shit? Go to school.
Right.
You know, they don't teach you about, you know, self-love or self. We didn't have that. Well, I'm going to say they might do it now because I think people got so much access to be models on Instagram and to do what they want to do, what they love. They TikTok sensations as teenagers. Yeah. You know, we didn't have that. If we would have had that in school, I think I probably would have turned out different. Yeah. Or my career path would have been different because I would have, if I love the camera. I love social media. So if I would have had social media in high school, we had a flip phone shit right before I graduated. Them bitches dropped. Or that, what that shit called? That little chirp.
Look, I had that the Nokias.
The Nextel.
They ain't had
that chirp. John don't know nothing about them chirp. You used chirp.
I just played Snake on Nokia.
I hated the chirp too. Because if you give a chick your chirp, she's a chirp you at the wrong time. Where you at? Hey,
like walkie-talkies?
Yeah,
I ain't never had no dog walkie-talkie.
It was the next. It was a cell phone.
But,
but basically it was a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
So people would just chirp in wherever you at. Oh, this bad time, big brother. But now, shit, yeah, that's good. I know you got a conversation about the kids.
Yes. So on Instagram, there was a guy that took it upon himself to, while he was driving, to kind of go off on whoever he was talking to and post it and say that he has 7 kids by 7 baby mamas. And he should not be held responsible for raising them or contributing to them because he told the women that had the babies that he didn't want to be a father.
Right.
He even offered to pay for their abortion.
Right.
And so he just feels like he don't care what nobody else has to say. You can't call me a deadbeat if I never wanted to be a dad.
And that's false information. You are definitely a deadbeat. You are definitely not a father to those kids. Like
he's a
scumbag.
He's a scumbag.
Come on, say asshole.
He's an ignorant asshole. Like that's
Go on curse, yeah. Yeah, go on curse.
Y'all.
Yeah. Shit. Go on curse on here. But nah, I listen, man, I have raised somebody else's kid before. Money is not always the main goal in raising a kid because the kid don't know nothing about financial literacy. They know about you being there in their lives and you just being a father. They want to spend time with their daddies. And a lot of kids that I raised, I'm going to say I raised them because I was there for so long, like 15 years, that I raised in juvenile detention, they was lack of fathers, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The father was there, but he wasn't a good father.
Right.
So for you to continue to have sex with these women unprotected.
Now, that's my thing.
And you not acting like it's your responsibility once a kid comes up because everybody beliefs not your beliefs. If I get somebody pregnant and her beliefs is she don't believe in abortions, it's time for you to step up as a father and raise those kids. So, you know, regardless if you there or not, if you wanted to do it, I just think men, you should say, I got a responsibility in this world now. I'm going to take care of it. And like I say, you can have another conversation with the mother of your kids to say, I'm not financially stable, but this is what I can do for those kids. Yeah. I can be A, B, and C for those kids, but I can't be financially stable because I have 6 more. So it's just about being a man and growing.
So my reason for calling him an ignorant
asshole. No, you said asshole. Come on, keep it saying.
But the reason why I said that is not because he's not for the father situation. I just feel as a human being, I feel like he's just an asshole. However, there is some accountability that needs to happen with the women who have babies by this guy.
Who's laying down with him.
Who is laying down with him, whether they know about the situation or not. If this man is telling you that he don't want to be with you, he never intended to, he referred to y'all as jump offs. So that means y'all probably had sex a couple of times, right? If not just one time. The fact that you feel like you should have a baby with a nigga that you barely know is an issue. However, at the same time, he also said that all of the other ones took the abortion.
That mean he had multiple people that took an abortion.
Like, how many women could you have gotten pregnant? Like, I feel like you didn't even learn after the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time.
Because he don't like protection, basically. And
that's why I call him a scumbag. He's irresponsible. He's ignorant. He's a scumbag because
if he was in his early 20s, I think I would say,
he's 27 with 7 kids and 7 baby mamas.
That's tough too.
And that's not including all the other women that took Plan Bs and had the abortion pill.
I'm not against abortions, if it's agreed on both sides.
But let me address what you said. I don't buy the...
Put the camera on KP. She's serious right now.
I don't buy the excuse that you don't believe in abortions or that your religion is against it. Because if that was the case, you would have had the religion in the back of your mind about having unprotected sex with this guy.
Right.
That you're not married to, that you're not in a relationship with, that you're not dating, that you're not, you know what I mean? Like you can't pick and choose when your religion is going to benefit you. In this case, I wouldn't even say it benefited you, because why would you put yourself and that child in a situation where there's a man that you barely know that don't want to be a father?
Right.
Why would you do that? So there are 2 things that need to happen. The women need to be held accountable if they're trying to ask for support or him to be present. You knew he wasn't going to be present. You put yourself in that situation.
Women, but
if he told you that he didn't want to be a dad and you chose to have that child on your own, then you should be responsible for raising that child on your own.
I've been in situations though. I've been in situations to where some women feel like I'm different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can change him. He gonna be there for my kid.
And you dumb.
Right. So
for thinking that.
It's just the mindset too of the woman that's involved with the man, because a lot of women too, they feel like, I can change him, or I can be A, B, and C to him.
I have compassion for those people because they need to grow up.
Right. I think it's just all about adult being mature about every situation.
You need to grow up.
And I had a homeboy.
Hold yourself accountable.
I had a homeboy that was a lack of a father.
Yeah.
Right. He had a kid. We was in our early 20s. After the kid, he wound up dipping and going to the military because he didn't want nothing to do with the kid. Right. Mm-hmm. But when he got back from the military, he still wasn't. The
military gonna make you pay.
He still wasn't. Being the father he should be. Mm-hmm. But what I learned from that situation was, because it wasn't me, I didn't really feel like I was young, that's my boy. We grew up together. So I don't give a damn, this is me. But when I got older and I used to see the child mother, mm-hmm. and she used to hold me as much accountable as him. Mm-hmm. Because she used to be like, you are his best friend, you are his friend, and you messing with somebody that don't even take care of their kids, or you not even questioning why you're not there for his kids. And it just opened up my eyes, because I feel like I could have done more. I could have said more. I could have been like, you know what? We gonna get that nigga today. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like,
I feel like...
So how you think about that situation? Should the friend be held as much as responsible?
Not as much, because regardless, that's his decision. But I will say, the more real people that you have around you, the better individual you become. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that's going to hold you accountable, as opposed to putting up, just letting you fail as a person, right. Because at this end of the day, like, you knew this baby was coming. You were kind of present in the beginning, but then you decided to run. Like, that's different from laying it out, whatever the case may be. Friends definitely should hold their friends accountable.
Yeah.
More.
I agree with that. That's what it taught me. It taught me to say, she was right, you know, in a sense, because, you know, he had other things going on outside of, you know, multiple other kids, you know what I'm saying? But shit, it was like a repeat cycle, but I'm still turning up party, you know, treating them as, but that ain't what I believe in as a father. My daddy was there, you know what I'm saying? My brother's there for their kids, you know, people around me there for their kids. So I didn't agree with his situation because I tried to have conversations with him. He just always brushed it off and told me that's how he moving. So I just like, fuck it, you know, we boys, but at the end of the day, I didn't agree with it.
I just feel like in that situation, both of them need to be held accountable. You have to be a shitty person knowing that you have 7 kids out here that you are turning your back on. Like, that's something, I'm not saying that everybody does that. Like,
there's a lot of people
shouldn't do it. I'm just saying, like, as a good person wouldn't know that and just be like, okay. Like, you know, it would at least tug at your heart. And the fact that you went on social media to put your situation on blast, to brag about it, and then say, I don't give a fuck what y'all think about me. Like, that's...
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild.
Crazy.
And to women, before I go, put the camera on me. Hey, to women, though, before I go, this is what I'm going to say to y'all, too. If you mess with a man and he have kids before you, and he's not there for his kids, stop thinking that because he love you or y'all in a relationship that he talking about marrying you, that his behavior is gonna change for you. Because people tell you all the time, they gonna show you who they are. Yeah, it might tell you one thing, but people gonna show you that his actions is before you.
Believe it.
Right. And if you in a relationship with a man that ain't taking care of his kids, once y'all have a kid and y'all have a disagreement or y'all not there for each other, most likely he gonna move away from the kids as well. So that's just my advice to you.
I don't care what
quit trying to change a man.
Exactly. Stop trying to change
a grown man.
Men only change when they want to.
Right.
You're not going to be the reason why he changes.
They gonna listen. Man gonna lie. He gonna tell you about his baby mama issues. He gonna tell you it was her. She the reason. Fault. She don't see the kids. This and that. But as a man, if you love your kids, you want to be there for your kids.
And you gonna do fight everything for them. You did.
You gonna fight to be there for your kids. So it's not always the woman problem. I ain't gonna say there's a lot of crazy baby mamas out here, but there's also a lot of deadbeat daddies out here.
It's true.
So that's just it. But I want to move on to cheating, right? Since we on like babies and all that type of stuff before we get out of here. My question to you is cheating, right? Is it a difference from like in the club? Because I've seen this in action in real life time frame.
Oh, Lord. So
girls' night out and cheating on your man, is that like a different, as far as just, what's the difference between cheating? Because I'm talking about...
And having fun.
Because even though it's girls' night out, but if you girls' night out and you twerking, you dancing, you let men buy you drinks, you know what I'm saying? You in the mode of girls' night. But if your man was there, are you that same person? You know what I'm saying? So I just want to know.
That's the key right there. Because... Oh, excuse me. I think that...
You get all that out you.
A girl... I think there is a certain level of things you can do regardless of if you are with your man or without your man, like how you should present yourself to society. Like you should never, if you're in a relationship, regardless of if he's with you or not, you shouldn't present yourself as a single woman. However, if it's just something like dancing or whatever the case may be, then, you know, I feel like sometimes that's harmless. You know, that's fun. That's more so fun. I know me and my husband, we talk about, we're very transparent. So I told him, like, if I go out and a man want to buy me a drink, I'm taking that shit. Because I would do the same thing in his face, though. Right. I would take the drink and give it directly to him. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that too. I'm like that with mine too. Like, hey,
and a lot of times,
I'm tired of spending money. As long as that nigga know you, hey, don't get the drink.
There's less money coming out of our household. Right. And he knows, like, at first I think men gotta get a little more comfortable. But as they trust you and they know how you move, they'll be like, I know she ain't trying to, you know.
Yeah, ain't nothing like that. It ain't nothing serious. Right. Yeah, I think it's all depending on who you dealing with.
Making out with people.
Right, kissing and weird shit.
That's weird.
Let's just say it's a relationship to where, like you like the two-step, you like to dance when certain songs come on, but you found you a partner that likes to do the same thing. So some people that like to dance, but they partner don't like to dance, right? So now I'm having girls' night. I might enjoy myself. I might be two-stepping. Somebody might grab my hand and do a dance. It's harmless, but I just like to dance a two-step. So I think that's a difference in cheating.
Yeah. Because I'll do the same thing with or without my husband.
Right.
Like
I just think it's all about over-communication.
Yeah.
I think women that's twerking on men, though, that's definitely disrespectful. You know, I didn't seen girl be like, my boyfriend here, my husband, at home, and they in the club twerking on another nigga for a drink. Weird. Like, that's different. You know what I'm saying? It's all about just conversation. I don't think that when you get in a relationship that you should stop having conversations, and it's about the way you carry yourself. Yes. Just carry yourself respectfully. Let the people know up front, hey, I got to do with the woo. If you still want to buy the drink, cool. You know, but it's nothing coming from it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. If it's coming from it with business, because I see a lot of relationships too that fail business wise because they partner is jealous. So now you're not able to grow and create and do what you want to do because you can't really have real conversation with men outside because you're in a relationship. And
so that relates to, like, if you're in a relationship and you're not able to be yourself and have fun, you know, and that person is always jealous, even in those situations, like, no, you don't need to be talking to no other dude, or
right.
You don't need
that's
to,
just weird.
You know, it's just like,
that's weird.
Really? Like, you don't want me to be a person?
Right.
Like,
because we're in a relationship, I can't grow. Like, I had 4,200 friends before you.
Now but I can't only have you.
No, but I can't have no one new friend after you. Like, I'm still living. I'm still growing.
And you're still meeting new people.
I'm still meeting new people.
You're in different spaces.
You should still be able to, like, let's just say you be somebody and your husband walk up, you can still be like, hey, this is my husband. Yeah. We talking about such and such. Yeah. Now, if you come out here hiding stuff and you being sneaky, that's a different situation. I'm just talking about growing. Girls night out, guys night out.
You gotta have your boundaries.
I want y'all to still be yourself, but you gotta still be respectful to your significant other. So that's that.
And yourself. Because what does that look like? What kind of impression did you have on her knowing that she had a man at home and she was outside working on
my girls just always tell me, man, don't ever embarrass me. And it just always stick to me. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if it's information out there that's floating, you better tell me.
I don't never want to be embarrassed. Like, don't be posting me on social media. Don't be, all in love A, B, and C, and then somebody can come behind you and say,
tell me something.
Your boyfriend doing A, B, and C. Yeah. Don't embarrass me. Like, I know you got a big personality. I know you friendly. I know you gonna meet people. Whoop de whoop, but don't have me out here looking stupid. Yeah. So that's always stick to me, when I'm outside. Yeah. Because I do got a big personality. I'm outside, but I try to respect, for the most part. So that's good. You good on that? Yeah. I think we hit it on the nail. Boom, 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 boom. We hit it on the boom, 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 boom. That's my new shit. We hit it on boom, 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 boom. But now, what's one thing you thought you was, you wish you were taught more growing up before we got here? Let's educate somebody on that type of stuff. If your parents can teach you something more, it ain't gotta be your parents. It could be your uncle, auntie, a teacher. What's something that you wish somebody would have taught you more as an adult now that you know growing up?
Majority of us probably can relate, but financial literacy.
Damn, that's my only paper.
But it's because our parents were also still trying to figure it out. They can't teach us something that they don't know about. Think about it. Your parents probably was living paycheck to paycheck. Right. You know what I mean? Like, not saying everybody parents, but it's common amongst our community because we're still trying to get to that level of financial freedom. So I feel like because they didn't have the information themselves, or they were maybe unsure about it, they might have known a little bit. I know how to get bad credit. Don't pay your credit card bill. You know what I mean? But they didn't have the full picture, so they didn't want to mess us up even more by telling us false information. So
my financial literacy too. Even though my parents was there together, I know they had their struggles as a parent. Cause my mama had 7 kids as well.
Ooh, baby.
She was a stay-home mom until I think me and my little brother got to like high school or middle school. So she raised us, and my dad was the only one worked. He was work from 6, 7 in the morning to
I was just about to say that.
10 at night down there. He worked all day, 2 or 3 jobs just to make sure bills was paid, rent was paid. But I still think that's a way to still teach your kids about savings and and opening up credit cards and not using your kids' name to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Just messing up your kids' credit before they even able to have credit. Yeah. So I just wish financial literacy, because that would be my biggest, I think, setback as an adult. Just trying to figure it out, because shit, I didn't know.
Make mistakes.
I'm 30. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm 37 years old. I never had a credit card to this day, because I'm just still scared of misusing a credit card.
Right.
You know, I had to teach myself about savings. I had to teach myself about, you know, when I got my first job at 21 years old, my first real job. I had jobs, y'all, but my first real job at 21 years old with benefits. I was so hood, man. Nobody ever said take a percentage of your check and put this away. You know, stack, even though you got your benefits now, your 401k, to where you got a retirement, but you still need to put money up for rainy days. Yeah. You still need to have a savings to where you can double up on that.
Even with your 401k, you still got to put more in there that they're actually
than what they taking. So, man, my first few years, man, I bought tennis shoes, cars, rims, you know, just hood shit. Screens in my car. I'm a Houston, man. I had screens in my car. I'm beating my trunk. Just a lot of wasted money in my early 20s that I wish my parents would have just said, no, like, what are you doing? Like, don't make this decision. You should instead of you putting that $2,500 into them rims, that's going to have no value to you in 2 years. Yeah, because you got, man, I ain't gonna lie, rims, listen, nigga, I know you young niggas coming up. Rims is expensive. The tires on rims, the maintenance on rims. It look good on the car, but nigga, I ride factory to this day, because rims took so much money out of my pocket growing up, because you dent them, you bend them, whatever your case may be. You know, so I just say, I wish financial literacy was taught more in our community.
And to be honest, I feel like that's the stuff they should have been teaching in school.
Right.
Like, even if it wasn't our parents,
is it in school now?
Curriculum? Now they have a lot of programs. They have business programs. But I'm like, where was the teaching? Like, if you knew credit was a thing, if you knew investing was a thing, like, why didn't we have classes?
I'm like Charles Barkley, man. He always say he wish he was born a decade later.
Yeah.
You know, so, because, you know, the NBA, they get them $200 million contracts, and they only got like $20 million in his time. But he was the MVP. Mm-hmm. So he's just, I wish, literally, from what I know now to what I feel like I would know coming up today, I'd be wishing I was born in 95 instead of 85, because, nigga, life would be totally different as far as things go. Yeah. But you live and you learn.
Yeah. But what are you going to do now, though? Like, you know, that's why I am such a pro, you know, information. Like, just give the information away. Right. Like, they can take it or leave it, but as long as you're sharing the information. That's why
I like this podcast, man. I think we can sit on here and we can kind of give people share information and shit. Like I say, man, y'all watch it. Y'all can go back and research it, read on it, take it for what it's worth, teach your kids about financial literacy, because you might, as a parent right now, you be so tied up in work and dealing with so much stuff that you might be like, shit, I forgot about that.
Especially single moms. Like, they can't think of everything, you know? So I get it, but at the same time, you got to find a way to get them that information so they don't have to start at square one like we did.
Yeah, I started, man. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm in my 30s and I'm still learning, because I wasn't taught it. You know, and we didn't have so much access to the internet to teach ourselves as we do today. Yeah. So,
you didn't even do the last season goal.
I don't remember.
Which was supposed to be get your passport.
Square business.
So now you got 2 goals. Get your passport.
Yeah. Because I want to come out the country with y'all for your wedding.
Yeah. And get a credit card. Okay.
We talked about that. Okay. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. When I got it, I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna show it too. That's one thing I'm working on right now. So, yeah, you know, they say you can't miss nothing you ain't never had, so I really don't be pressured about no passport.
You need to get it.
Listen, I'm scared. I'm damn near scared of planes anyway, so that's probably why I don't like going nowhere.
It's only 2 hours away.
Right. But that's a beauty. So, hey, y'all just heard it here first. So, I'm going to get my passport. I'm going to come show y'all within the next...
And this credit card.
30 days. Now, I'm still scared about credit card, but I'm trying to buy a house, and they told me that's something I need to do.
You have to have credit.
Yeah, they told me that's something I need to do, because I'm tired of paying $2,500 for an apartment. Okay. So, yeah, we definitely need to get into a house.
Your credit card. You could get that tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can get that tomorrow.
Hey, listen, man, this is the Unexpected Podcast. I ain't gonna let her pressure me on site. I'm DJ Reese Boogie, man. I'm out of here.
We can sign up right here.
Come on, tell them who you is. You can't.
Right, I'm KP.
Hey, hold on before we go. I just want to say this before we go. Hey, before we go, man, please, if you watch our podcast and you like what we doing, please subscribe, follow, like, share, whatever you got to do, man. We're going to try to come up with some things this season to where we can give away free merchandise. We can find a way to implement y'all in the show. If you got a question, make sure that you write us. Make sure that you follow our page, The Unexpected Podcast, YouTube. We on Spotify. We on Apple Music. We on all. So everything, all genres. So please, y'all help us and y'all make us continue to work. So if you like what we got going and hey man, follow us, like us, subscribe.
And also shout out to Healthy by Lala. She has healthy tips, motivation for fitness and all those things. Go tell her we sent you on Instagram.
Oh yeah. One more thing. Hey, if y'all got some clothes out there that y'all want me to put on for free, please send it to me so I can put them clothes on. Man, I'm out of here, man. DJ Reese Boogie.
Peace.